How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into 14P Fantasy. I am your host, Justin Wright. Today, we are talking wide receivers, start and sit for Week 14, part 1 of 2. Before we get into it, though, guys, remember to subscribe to the channel. Obviously, follow us over on social. Drop questions, comments, anything you have below, and we will get to it as we can. All right, number 1 on our list here, if it will let me scroll, Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore versus the Saints. And honestly, I get Zach Wilson is just awful. He's not good. But same argument as last week. I anticipate Elijah Moore being able to utilize how talented he is, Zach Wilson's terribleness aside, to still put up relevant fantasy numbers. We saw it last week. He is averaging over 10 targets a game the last 3 weeks here, and he actually was successful with Zach Wilson. So that does kind of speak to this, that, he is talented enough. It does not matter who his quarterback is, whether it's Mike White, Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson, it doesn't matter. Elijah Moore has become, a top 15, top 20 wide receiver since the bye week, and he's becoming a must-start wide receiver. So he comes in as a wide receiver too. He's all the talent in the world. It's just a matter of if he can overcome Zach Wilson. And it does help that the Saints have been the 5th easiest matchup on the season. And, maybe he gets Marshawn Lattimore. Maybe he's not ascended to that point that Lattimore is going to shadow him. But either way, I am comfortable playing Elijah Moore as a wide receiver 2 in Week 14. Moving on to number 2 here, we have T. Higgins versus the 49ers. And T. Higgins is on a tear. I mean, not that there was any question if you were going to start or sit him this week. You have to play him. He's coming off of back-to-back 20-point games. He has had over 100 yards and a touchdown and 6+ catches each of the last 2 weeks. T. Higgins and Joe Burrow are just clicking right now. I mean, there's no way around it. Obviously, the teams have started to take away Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow has missed Jamar Chase recently, so T. Higgins has stepped up, and that's huge. And, I mean, it absolutely helps. In the last month, the 49ers are the 5th easiest matchup. And teams are I don't really know what you do if you're an opposing defense. Do you scheme away Jamar Chase and let T. Higgins just murder you? Do you scheme away T. Higgins and let Jamar Chase kick your ass? Or do you just play both straight up and get torched by both? What do you do? There's really no win here. I get Joe Burrow's dealing with a pinky injury. That doesn't seem to be a huge factor. So I'm still going to fire up T. Higgins as a wide receiver 2 in a great matchup. And if you're wondering about Jamar Chase, I'm obviously starting him as well. We know the ceiling every single week for him, so no concerns with Jamar Chase either. Both are locked and loaded wide receiver 2s in a phenomenal matchup. Moving on, we have Marvin Jones versus Tennessee, and the only reason he's on this list is I know you're going to be looking at ESPN or Sleeper or Yahoo and see that 32 next to Tennessee's defense. Easiest matchup in football, blah, 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 whatever. I don't care. Do not play Marvin Jones. Could he go off? Sure. Do you want to take your chances on a guy that has not broken 10 points in the last month and a half? That's 6 straight games. He has been under double-digit fantasy points. And, I mean, knowing Marvin Jones, now that I say this, he's going to go nuclear because it's Marvin Jones. I don't care, though. I'm just not taking a chance in what should be a must-win matchup for you in fantasy. Hopefully you've clinched. But for most people, you're looking at a locked and loaded, I need to win this matchup to get into the playoffs kind of situation. So with that being said, my tiebreaker is always, am I going to feel dumb if I lose starting this player? Am I going to feel dumb starting Marvin Jones if you lose? Answer is probably yes. So don't play Marvin Jones. That's the logic. All right, moving on. We have Mike Williams versus the Giants, and he comes in as a wide receiver 2 again. 2 of the last 3 weeks, Mike Williams has been phenomenal. There's a lot of good going in his direction for this game. There's also some bad. So let's get into both of them. Good, 4th easiest matchup over the last month for wide receivers. Teams have just absolutely torched them. Also on the good, Keenan, good relative. Keenan is on the COVID list. He is vaccinated, so he could still play Sunday. So you have to monitor that. But if he is out, Mike Williams, potentially ascends to wide receiver 1 status. I mean, he's going to be the guy there. The bad, though, is we all know how Mike Williams operates. He is a big play type of guy. The Giants have their bottom 5 in explosive pass rate. They've only allowed 33 big pass plays all season. Only 7% of snaps. That's extremely low, obviously. Well down from Baltimore, who's over 10%. So there's your difference. He needs big plays, and that's if Keenan Allen's active. So that is where this could go wrong is, they keep him in check. They don't let him blow the top off the defense. It's what you got to keep in mind. But if I have him, I am playing him. I think there's too much going in his favor for that one stat to get in the way of starting Mike Williams. Moving on to number 5. And if you watched our, 5 moves to make this week, you already have KJ Osborn, and you're already starting KJ Osborn. He comes in as a flex. Pittsburgh is just kind of lost in addition to Adam Thielen being out. That's the main reason KJ Osborn is on this list. But, KJ Osborn has seen 14-plus points in 3 of 4 games where he's seen 7-plus targets. Red zone work is available, so there's now touchdown upside because Adam Thielen isn't, taking every single passing touchdown in this offense. KJ Osborn has a sky-high ceiling, which is rare to say on a guy you're picking up off of waivers in Week 14. It's a middle-of-the-road matchup. It's nothing, too enticing, but still. Kirk Cousins has been on a tear. Pittsburgh is painfully average. And you know what? No Adam Thielen. That's the big thing here. So if you have KJ Osborn, if you picked him up, you should be starting him in your lineups. And to close us out, we have Darnell Mooney versus the Green Bay Packers. Full disclosure, I'm biased. I am a Bears fan, but Mooney has to come in as a flex. Green Bay has just, it's the second best matchup for wide receivers over the last month. He has seen 7-plus targets in each of his last 3 games. We maybe get Justin Fields back, but even if it's Andy Dalton, it doesn't really matter. They're both decent enough passers. And again, neither are going to blow you away right now at this point in their careers, but Darnell Mooney has had success with both. So it doesn't matter who's starting. Darnell Mooney has the volume. It's just a matter of if he can break one. And if he can, he is obviously more than a flex play. But the volume alone is the reason you are starting him. That gives you confidence that even if he doesn't break, that 60-yard play, that 50-yard play, there's potential for him to have enough work to still be a very relevant asset, fantasy asset for Week 14. All right, that's all we got. As always, guys, remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitters, both accounts. Jesus. I'm lost, man. Comment, questions, all that good stuff. Drop them below. This is just ridiculous. All right. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.